Oh, Lord, please let it work this time. Please, 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 please. We're having some serious technical issues today, but we think we have it worked out. Welcome in, everybody, to the Coach and Bro Show. For those of you watching on our YouTube channel, please hit the like button on the way in. It really helps the show grow. We've got a lot of topics to hit on today. Monday Night Raw is already in the books. In fact, the talent already on an airplane back to the United States after 3 big shows. Down under in Perth, SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Monday Night Raw. Also, the TNA Bound for Glory last night. So we'll talk about all of it, but I can't do it by myself. I'm the coach part of this program, not the bro. Of course, my good friend from russosbrand.com, my man Vince Russo. Good afternoon, sir.
What is going on, Mr. Coachman? I think I gave. Where's my Italian horn? I think I gave my Italian horn, and I didn't mean to. I started rooting for the Jags because I want to see Tony and Shad on the podium after the Super Bowl, and they lost, Coach. They lost.
I think you gave them the kiss of death. You gave them the kiss of death. Every time we start talking about the Jags making it to the Super Bowl, they lose. So here's what we're going to do. Jags, we want you to lose. We want you to lose.
Yes.
And they're going to win. They're going to win.
Yes.
Then and only then will Tony Khan come on the show. We're starting a mission, Vince.
Yes.
We're starting a mission to get Tony Khan on this program, let's say within the next 12 months.
Well,
Is that
Coach,
fair?
you know, I did a whole show Friday. I gave him an invite, and I'm going to tell you this too, Coach. I didn't even tell you this off air.
Okay.
I am working on somebody on the inside of the company trying to get Mr. Khan to do this show.
Wow. That would be one of your best gets. I mean, last week, incredibly popular getting Chris McCumber on the show. That has been the shorts and reels. The numbers are amazing. If you can get Tony Khan on this show,
I would
maybe he'll understand that we're with him. We support him. We want him to do well.
I don't think we've ever said otherwise. I know we haven't on this show. I certainly know we haven't on this show, Coach.
No, we haven't. It's just, sometimes when you get in that bubble, when you live in the bubble, you feel like everybody's coming at you all the time when they're really not. Yeah. So maybe Tony Khan lumps us in with everybody else, and we've got to do our job to make sure that doesn't happen.
Correct.
All right, a ton of topics to get to, but we want people, if they want to ask a question, they have a comment that they want to be seen on the show, here on the show. How can they do that, Vince?
Yeah, guys, we love you. It's important. It's a part of this show. You are a part of the show. We designed the wheel because of you guys. So we love to hear from you. Super stickers, donations, anything over $5. We will bring you up on the screen, and we will comment on your comments, suggestions, opinions, whatever you want to talk about.
That's right. And anything $10 or more, we want to reward those of you that are a little bit more generous. So, as Vince said, we have created, the producer man created the Wheel of Doom. And anybody on Mondays and anybody on Thursdays that submits a super sticker of $10 or more, you get your name up there. If you do $20, you get your name up there twice. And one very lucky person every single week. And Vince, if we continue to grow like this, we may have to do Mondays and Thursdays. We'll see. But right now, it's just we collect them. Thursdays, we spin the Wheel of Doom at the end of the show, and then we send you right now, I think it's Mamby-Pamby is the featured item, but it's going to be changing by the week. You get a Mamby-Pamby t-shirt. And please, when you get it, send us a picture. We want to put you up on the show. Nobody has sent one in yet, Vince. We've had a lot of winners so far.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so we got to start talking about what went down at Crown Jewel because The Rock is somewhat involved in what is going on. And every time he kind of slides into it, I'm like, I'm scratching my head just a little bit because Vince, down at Crown Jewel, they are getting rave reviews for the John Cena AJ Styles matchup on Saturday, where they used a bunch of different people's moves and finishes. And we also found out AJ Styles 2026 will be his last year in pro wrestling. But let's start with that matchup because we didn't know if it was a good pick by John Cena. We now know it was John Cena's decision. Was it the right one?
Oh, absolutely. Because at this point, Coach, with where this angle storyline has gone, it is, let's face it, it has gone to the shits. And everybody knows that, including John Cena. So at that point, what John Cena is going to do, I would assume, since we're running out of time to tell a good story, that's the problem. The clock's against us. Well, the next best thing he can do is have great matches. And, picking AJ Styles, absolutely, without a doubt, we knew what these guys were going to deliver. We knew what these guys were capable of. So at this point in the game, I think it was a great decision by John Cena.
Okay, real quick, because I want to make sure I see a couple of people in the chat. My microphone sounds good to me, but apparently we did not fix it. Your microphone does not sound good to me. It says I sound like I'm in a tunnel. We know that. That's why we were late coming on. But do I sound weird to you, Vince?
Yeah, you sound fine to me, but I am reading these comments, and it seems like a lot of people are having problems with your audio, but you sound fine to me.
This is absolutely crazy. I'm going to dip out. You hit on this for a second. I'm going to dip out and maybe unplug my entire microphone setup and come back in. I'll just be gone for a minute or two. I don't want to stop the show, but continue on and I'll be right back, okay? Frustrating. Sorry, guys. We'll be right back.
Yeah, guys, what I was saying was there was obviously a game plan in place. No question about it. And the game plan was John Cena turning heel. Now, guys, I keep telling you all the time, everybody was on board with this. There's no question about that, because you can go to the 4th episode of Unreal, where they come up with this story, and Rock is involved, Cena's involved, everybody is involved, and they're off to the races. Something happened. We don't know what that something is. But apparently we never saw Rock after that. And apparently they pulled out of Cena as a heel with really no explanation whatsoever. So behind the scenes, without a shadow of a doubt, something went wrong. Now, here's where I do put a little heat on the WWE. Guys, things go wrong in wrestling all the time. I don't care how far out in advance you book, what plans you have, things happen all the time. And you've got to be able to switch on the dime. You've got to be able to switch on the dime. There should have been a plan B. There absolutely should have been a plan B. There wasn't. So now we're running out of time because Cena gave us the end date of December something. So like Coach and I were talking about, and Coach is back, the best thing to do at this point is just give us the best matches you possibly can. And 1,000% of the time you could count on AJ Styles. How are we sounding, Coach?
God, I don't know. No, that's not good. Let me go back in here. Oh, this is so frustrating. Now, I'm better now in my ears. How do I sound to you, Vince?
You sound okay to me, but how do you sound to the audience? That's the most important thing. Guys, can you let us know? Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I doing all right? Somebody, Kimberly, let me know how I sound in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me know, chat, if we're doing okay. I sound good here. Sounds better now. Okay, great. All right, awesome. We're good. We're good. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're back in the saddle. Where were you at, Vince?
I was at with the hand that they were dealt. They should have had a plan B. They didn't have a plan B. Let's not harp on that. They didn't have a plan B, period. Right. So the next best thing is Cena's looking at, okay, it's October. I'm going till December. It's really not enough time to tell a great story. Let me have great matches. And he had one at Crown Jewel at AJ.
And I think that was it. That was his decision, because it was only a month ago, Vince. What was it? September 21st, whatever the date was, that he got absolutely demolished by Brock Lesnar. Now that we've seen the AJ Styles situation, now that we know that, and there's been rumors out there that Cena has not been happy, and how can he be? Right. How can he be? But Vince, why did they do that if we're not even going to pay that off or even address it? Not one single second on their shows have they addressed the Cena Brock situation.
See, Coach, here's where I get in hot water. Coach, we consider, listen, Coach, if we gave them a report card, let's be positive first. If we gave them a report card, here's the first grade. Ready, Coach? WWE production, Coach. A plus. Production, A plus. Yes. WWE creative.
D.
I'm going F. Coach, listen, guys.
I'm trying to be positive.
Listen, guys, we can be positive, but creative is not their strong suit. And Coach, I'm going to segue us into the next story because here's where that comes into play. And guys, I'm giving you my POV as a writer. We saw Raw has already happened, Coach. It was already taped, so we know what happened. Now, Coach, we've never really had this before. How do we handle this spoiler thing, Coach? Because a lot of people may not have seen Raw yet. So what do we do?
Don't care. I've already talked about it for 2 hours on Sirius XM.
Well, then you know what? Yeah. You set it up for me, so I don't get any heat. Go ahead, Coach. You set it up.
So here's what happened on Raw when it comes to John Cena and AJ Styles.
No. We're talking about the big event that happened on Raw that I'm trying to segue to.
Okay. That's where I'm going. So I wanted to do a joke and say what they decided to do instead was end a storyline that's only been 2 months in the making and have one of the biggest shocking but turn on somebody. Boy, that sounded horrible. Bron Breakker, he takes out Seth Rollins. After Seth Rollins had said, and maybe we should have saw this coming, I need nobody. I beat Cody by myself. I did this by myself. I won this title by myself. And you had Bron over there in the corner going, wait a second. Did he? Then the spear. And then here's what I really like, because I didn't like that they did it. But I like the fact that they took their time allowing Bronson and Paul Heyman to decide in the moment to not make it look like all three were in on it against Seth Rollins. So that is something, if you haven't seen Raw, that happened. And they left Seth laying as they went off the air. Now I'll bring it back to you, Vince.
Yeah, now, guys, here's where I'm going to bring the creative into this because I'm going to tell you what happened. I promise you this is what happened. So even producer man, when I got my notes, the question is this too soon? The answer is, without a shadow of a doubt, yes. And why do I see that? Coach, come on. You and I have seen angles and factions and stories that go on forever in the WWE and literally should have ended years ago. Guys, perfect example. Judgment Day. Stop it with Judgment Day. Judgment Day stopped meaning anything when Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest left. At that point, Judgment Day's over. So you guys know they're going to go longer, Coach, than shorter. So, Vince, then why did they kill this angle? Now, producer man also said at the 12th hour before we came on the air that Rollins may be hurt. Guys, that doesn't mean anything. I don't care if Seth Rollins is hurt. They can still tell a story on TV, Coach. Yep. He doesn't have to wrestle. Seth Rollins getting hurt should do nothing with breaking up that group.
Nothing whatsoever. I saw a picture with him. I thought it was AI. I can't trust anything on
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, that's AI. Where he's eating an ice cream cone and he's got his left arm in a sling. Have you seen that picture?
I have not seen that. Yeah.
We'll see if we can grab that, producer man. It's out there. I think Double D. Isn't that the greatest name for an intern ever? Is Double D?
I love that. Yeah, it turns me on a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. And even if he was hurt in the match on Saturday, which we've heard nothing of that at all, Vince, you can still have a guy that runs a faction that's not even 2 months old with an injury. That's completely okay. Why do you think they decided this early when you're still building up Bron Breakker? He hasn't even done a full segment promo yet.
I'll tell you why. And people that listen to this show, once I tell you why, you're going to sit there for a second and say, you know what? I think Vince is right. Here's why. I'm getting back to creative, and I'm getting back to bad creative. Coach, Rollins has nobody to work with. There's nobody for Rollins to work with. They just made that match with Cody Rhodes that was an absolutely nothing throwaway match. That match happened because neither guy had an opponent. So now that match is over. Here's Seth Rollins with a belt and no opponent. Vince, why does he have no opponent? Because they haven't built an opponent. That's what creative is supposed to do. So now we're done with Cody. I still have a belt. I've got no opponent. What are we going to do? Well, guess what, Coach? Now Seth Rollins has 2 opponents. That is exactly why they cut that thing short.
2 things. I'm so disappointed in you.
Oh, boy.
So disappointed in you.
I'm sorry.
Number one.
I apologize.
We all know the long history of Crown Jewel. I mean, going all the way back to, well, anyway, the history of Crown Jewel where it's champion versus champion. And you never know who's going to win. Yeah. And this time it happened to be Seth Rollins. Yeah. But here's a little spoiler, Vince, just for you. Because on Raw, that people could watch tonight if they didn't watch it already today, we now have a brand new number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Do you want to know who it is?
So, I swear to God, and I want to get into this later on. Whose belt are we talking about now? Seth's or Cody's?
Seth's, the World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay, see, I didn't see. Let's hear this.
All right, there is the picture right there, and I think my audio just went out again.
Yeah.
There's the picture of Seth with the arm in a sling and eating the ice cream cone. Okay.
Yes.
So he may or may not be hurt, but they decided to go with somebody, Vince, that my mind is a little bit off.
No.
I don't know if he has a history with this guy. I'm just trying to think of the last year or two, but has he done anything with CM Punk? That is your new number 1 contender.
Coach, can we go off script here?
Please do.
I want to get in your head. I want to get in the head of our fans. Please, Coach, please.
Yes.
Bear with. I always let you lead. Bear with me.
Go for it.
Okay. Because I did a lot of thinking this weekend. Coach, I was, reviewing Raw and SmackDown every week for years and years and years and years for Sportskeeda.
Correct.
As a podcaster, Coach, I was the last couple of months, I really had to start reevaluating my situation because, Coach, I was really starting to feel like there is no way I can watch this show subjectively anymore. In other words, what I'm saying is you just gave me so many years of the same old. I honestly don't know if there's anything you can do for me to put it over. And that's my job. My job is I have to be subjective. So
1,000.
now I'm worried about, can I be subjective anymore? Because I don't know what they could possibly do to get me reinterested. So I'm kind of looking at that. Coach, you know what it's like? It's like you go to a movie and you don't like the movie. And you keep going back and watching the same movie. And the same movie. And, okay, I don't like the movie. Nothing changes about the movie. So now I'm really questioning, how can I continue to review this show if I don't think I could be subjective?
I understand that.
So now I'm trying to understand myself, and I'm asking myself, how has it gotten to this point? Okay? And here's the first thing I do, Coach, because I'm really trying to understand. Here's the first thing I do. I say, Vince, take creative out of it. Take creative out of it because, Coach, creative is subjective.
Completely.
So the things I hate, other people may love. People may love. So, Vince, take the creative out of it. What is it about this show that you no longer feel you could be subjective about it? Okay? So then I'm starting to think, really, what is my problem with these shows? And Coach, and I've got a solution for them that is so simple that I think they should implement it next week.
Okay.
Here's my problem taking away creative. Number one, because there's so much program and because there's so many hours, okay, number one, it is very difficult for me to follow. I don't know what happened on Raw. I don't know what happened on SmackDown. I can't remember who fought who. I can't remember who's in any angles. I cannot follow it. It is too confusing for me. And a lot of that has to do with there being too much. Okay, so now it's very when we did cliffhangers on Monday Night Raw, when that show ended, you could not wait to see the following week.
Take it to the next week. Yes.
You're following it. You're following it, Coach. Very easy to follow. This is all over the place. Coach, I don't remember what I saw on SmackDown on Friday. It's Monday. I don't remember what I saw. So there's too much. It's all over the place. Coach, this is the first thing I would do. Please tell me if and guys, I am literally trying to help the WWE as a casual fan that they really have lost. What should we do? Here's the first thing, Coach, and you and I know this. Guys, the brand split, first of all, is ridiculous. And again, here's why they're doing it, Coach. Here is why they're doing it. Because in their minds, it'll give them a ratings pop 1 week on Raw and 1 week on SmackDown. They know the brands, the draft gives them a ratings pop. But once they do the draft and get the ratings pop, the draft means nothing. Stop with the draft and the SmackDown team and the Raw team. Stop with it. It's confusing to begin with. One roster, storylines carry from Raw to SmackDown to Raw to SmackDown to Raw to SmackDown. That's number one. Nobody can argue that the brand split makes any sense anymore. It doesn't, because we'll see a guy on Raw, but he's only on Raw, then he'll be on SmackDown the next. Guys, it's done. For you did it for a reason. It served its purpose. Now it's just confusing things. That's number one. Coach, number two, and you are Mr. Sports. You understand sports. It is your livelihood. What does every sports team have, no matter what the sport is? Here's what they have. A roster. Who are the 20 guys and gals you are going with? That's the roster. That's who we're seeing on Raw, and that's who we're seeing on SmackDown. We're not shoveling people in and out every single week that mean nothing. They mean nothing. Who are your players? Take those players, put them on Raw, put them on SmackDown, and it's one continuous story. Guys, let's start there to make it much, much easier to understand. And Coach, again, I'm just going to back it up on a third tier. And I hate when I'm doing all the talking. I do hate it. Coach, we just saw a tremendous amount of cuts last Friday. And they were developmental cuts. They were NXT cuts, wherever they were from. I got two things, Coach. Number one, why do you continue to sign people when you can't even get your own people on the roster over? Let's get your people on the roster over first. And second of all, Coach, you and I talk about this all the time, and this show is about business. Mm-hmm. Guys, all those names that they cut last weekend, there is a dollar amount attached to all of those names, Coach. There was an investment made in every single person they cut. They invested money. So every single person they cut, That is a loss. They invested money in somebody. They lost money in somebody. And guys, I think there were about 8 to 10 names. So let's multiply that by 8 to 10. So here, my question with that, Coach, is first of all, who's going to be held responsible for that? Because somebody is clearly signing the wrong people. Somebody's eye is off. If you're signing people and we've got to release 10, 12 people, somebody made a bad decision on those 10 or 12 people. Who's going to be held responsible? Why is that person not losing their job? And if I'm TKO, that's an enormous loss for me financially. We brought all these people in. Some of them have been here for a couple of years. We spent X amount of dollars and got nothing in return. Oh, no problem. Let's jack the ticket prices up to 20 grand. That's how we'll make that up. What I'm saying, Coach, is, guys, first thing, simplify this. Simplify this. Stop signing so many people that are never going to make it in the first place. Cut out this ridiculous draft. Decide who's going to be on the roster, who's going to be on the show every single week, and go from Raw to SmackDown, from Raw to SmackDown. Coach, if we just do that, there is a much better chance of casual wrestling fans being able to follow this show, because you can't follow it now, Coach. I'm sorry I talk so much, but I can't wait to let you go.
I think the show's over, actually. A couple of things, and then we've got a lot of super stickers that we got to get to. First thing, I think I have good news for you. I believe the draft has been nixed for this year, at least, so they're not doing the draft.
How do we know that, though?
I saw a report. I'm getting a little inside information.
Okay, but no, that has not been public.
No, it hasn't been public.
Okay,
but yeah, it's been done every year. It's done way before now. So
okay,
now they're getting in.
Good,
so that's done. That's done.
Good.
And are you trying to tell me that when I say, I'm going to say a couple names to you, this doesn't just sound like money to you?
Hold on, Coach. You're going to say the name, and I'm going to do either yeet or no yeet.
Okay. Draco Knox.
Say that again.
Draco Knox.
No yeet.
BJ Ray.
No yeet.
Steve Turner.
No yeet.
Wes Lee.
No yeet.
Start with the names. These are not star names. I've never even heard of any of these people.
Coach, you're a Chief guy.
Yeah, big
no doubt about it. It starts with the who's the people who draft all these guys? What word am I looking for?
Well, general manager or
scouts.
Owner.
Scouts.
Yeah, scouts.
It starts with the scout.
Uh-huh.
Coach, if you're a scout and 10 of my players that I scouted are now released, what do you think is happening to that scout?
Well, if he's not good friends with Triple H, he's probably getting cut, I would imagine. This is Triple H's baby. The developmental is his creation.
Wow.
So he's going to protect that as best he can without anybody. I've always wondered why the people above continue to keep their jobs when people here are the ones that lose their jobs.
That's a great point.
It's never made a lot of sense to me, and they're always the ones that are protected. Because in the wrestling business, just so you guys know at home, they're always friends with somebody. When you look at, I'm not saying that Shawn Michaels is not qualified to run NXT. What I'm saying is him and Triple H are boys, and they were in D Generation X together. Matt Bloom has been in NXT for 15 years? He's been there since the beginning. And then he had all these are all Triple H's friends. And he's not going to fire his friends. Road Dogg, I heard they just made an adjustment, Vince, to the SmackDown writing team.
Yeah.
Because they had an all-time low rating of 1.030 for two Fridays ago. And what you just described, if we're putting our stars on both shows, guess what's going to happen? people are going to go to both shows, and you're not going to get a 1 million rating because what you talked about on Friday, do you know what the matches they had for the go home going into Crown Jewel were? They had 4. None of them were on Crown Jewel. None of them.
Well, Coach, here's a perfect example. This is what Coach said. Now, this is professional sports compared to the WWE, and I love what Coach just laid out. Okay, we all saw the Yankees. Mm-hmm. And bro, even Joe Torre had a great quote. Like, I copied it. I wanted to bring it up on this show, but I knew we were stacked. But Joe Torre basically said, when you wear the pinstripes, you need to step up to the plate. And Coach and I say the same thing about the WWE every week. This is the greatest wrestling company in the company. Step up to the plate. But Coach, again, Yankees eliminated from the playoffs again. You know what this is the equivalent of, Coach? I swear to God, this is the equivalent of Hal Steinbrenner looking at the Yankees organization and saying, you know what? We're not going to fire Aaron Boone. But Coach, there are a couple of guys in AA ball that we gotta get them. That's the equivalent of what we're talking about here, and it's what Coach said. It's always these people underneath. Somebody's bringing these people underneath in, Coach. Somebody's giving them a contract. Somebody's giving them money. And when these people fail, somebody's got to be held accountable. Otherwise, it's the cycle all over again, Coach.
They do. And I will say this, though, because I do one day a week with Baron Corbin. He's known as Bishop Dyer now. And he said the difference in money between an NXT contract and a main roster contract is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, it is, you're talking $500 a week in NXT. Some of those stars you see, you're like, how come they're not bringing them up to the main roster? Well, it's financial. They don't want to pay them $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 right now, so you can keep Trick Williams in NXT making $500,000 to $1,000 a week. That's nothing in the whole scheme of things. That's $50,000 a year, max. And you're supposed to walk around an airport and have some kid go, "Man, you're the greatest." Yep, I only make $50,000, kid. It matters. Those things matter. They really do. All right, we're going to get into the Rock and Cena shortly, but we got a lot of super stickers, Vince, that we got to get to, if you're all right with that. Hannibal, you've got 2 spots on the Wheel of Doom. We're going to start with you. WWE should be afraid of the coach, VR, and the potential guest stars. They expose themselves with a partnership with ESPN. Coach is a direct connect to ESPN. Did they really think they would get away with from the criticism? I'll say this, that when I was there, Vince, and I convinced ESPN and the executives to make WWE a part of their programming, it was really hard for me to do. And if I'm being completely honest right now, it probably cost me my job, to be honest with you, because I pushed really, really hard. So now to see them be in business, it's a little bit validating for me. But at the same time, they've got to understand, they've got to deliver. And Vince, they've had 2 shows now on that ESPN app. I stand with ESPN. Because WWE is not delivering. Saturday night, to me, they didn't deliver.
Coach, was that graded by ESPN yet? I'm curious.
It was. It was a B minus. It was in the B. B minus, B plus, something like that. Yeah. And of course, that guy's getting a lot of attention today because of the C plus. And I don't know why wrestling fans can't understand that ESPN has writers for every sport. This is now a sport to them. You're going to have not just one. I just talked to another guy who's going to be right. They're going to have multiple writers for WWE content, multiple going forward. You're going to get this. Don't be surprised when you see an article that ESPN does on something that ESPN aired. They do it all the time with every sport, But yes, they should be very afraid of us. I agree, Hannibal. Max Still, you're on the Wheel of Doom. Has Raw become Glow? If so, can we teach the women how to strike? Now, Max, I'm not going to make this a female-only thing. I will make it an across-the-board thing.
Amen.
Vince, I mean, the punches right now, Jelly Roll, all kidding aside, throws better punches than most of the elite roster that we watch every week. Am I lying?
1,000% correct. Logan Paul makes it look like he's been in the business for 30 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know how Triple H is not addressing this. They talked about a little bit in Unreal, very, very little. But when you're not wrestling every day, Vince, 4 days a week, and you're getting gassed, it's kind of like when I used to play basketball. And you have a guy that's not in good shape, and there's a ball that's about 5 feet away, and you're looking at him going, are you going to go get it? Or I'm going to get it? And it becomes a business decision. If your body tells you, I don't want to go get that ball, it's not going to go get that ball.
That's right.
It's like in wrestling, when you're gassed, and I mean, it feels like there's 1,000 forks going into your side when you're really, really winded in wrestling. Yeah. It's a different kind of gas than basketball, football. And Vince, when you go to throw a punch, you don't have any juice. That punch ain't coming. There's nothing you can do about it. They're out of shape, and the work rate is poor right now. Yeah, that's just fact. Yeah. All you got to do is, and that's what makes what Cena and AJ Styles did. That's the benchmark. Those guys had a great match.
Yes. Yep.
And the rest of the talent better look at that and go, damn, what are we doing?
But again, Coach, it's kind of what we're talking about. Yes, there is the factor of they're not wrestling on a consistent basis and they're getting gassed. But also, Coach, isn't a factor the developmental, what they're being taught. And if they're throwing punches like that on Raw and SmackDown, they were throwing punches like that on developmental and NXT. Why are they being promoted to the main stage? That's what I don't understand. In baseball, you're not going to promote a guy who's batting 100 because he's not going to be able to hit major league pitching.
No doubt. No doubt. Very, very well said. All right. Jimmy Fingers. I'm telling you what, Vince, people want this mamby-pamby. They want this mamby-pamby t-shirt bad. So, Jimmy, you got 2 spots on the Wheel of Doom. He says, personally, I love the turn because I was not expecting it at that moment. Bigger question, could they swerve this and have the Brons be the baby faces here and have Punk join them, or turn Punk heel in this to join them? I thought about that, and I mentioned it on my radio show today, Vince. What if this is an entire Vision swerve and they're all in on it together? That might be something I can wrap my head around. What about you as a writer?
I could definitely wrap my head around that because that's longer planning. It's a swerve and the story continues. So I could definitely wrap my head around that, Coach.
All right. Jimmy Fingers, another spot on 3 spots on the Wheel of Doom come Thursday. Jimmy says, if this turn happened in the States, it would have went over like a fart in church. The hot crowd made it seem more important. Take away the hot crowd from Hogan Rock at Mania 18, not as good. I was there. I was on the floor. You are right about Hogan Rock, WrestleMania 18. I will say, Vince, a hot crowd, Australia, they only go there once a year. Of course it's going to be hot. They were red hot. With Rhea there, and even Bronson got a huge pop because he's from Australia. Naturally, that happens. But how much does a hot crowd help an angle like that?
Oh, big time, because, again, the person watching at home thinks it's important because the crowd is hot. But, again, guys, you have to really be honest and ask yourself this question, Coach, and I'm going to ask you this question. Is Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker really over? If this turn is a turn, it's a mistake because they're not over enough for the turn to mean something. If it's all part of the storyline, great, Coach. If this is a swerve, if this is a Heyman plan, great. But if this is legit, they're not over enough to maximize the turn.
And I think that's why I didn't like it so soon. I am starting to hear the barks. You're starting to hear the barks when he does something, which means they're into Bron Breakker. Bronson, I don't think, can carry anything on his own. He's not great on the mic. I think Breakker can get there, but I've not heard Breakker stand in the ring with a suit on or whatever and cut a promo straight to the camera like all the other top guys do. Until that, I don't know if I want to see him run his own faction. I don't know. Oh, look what we have here. Vince, this one's about you. Vince, Velvet Sky gave you a nice shout out at her TNA Hall of Fame speech at Bound for Glory. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because I did get it, Jimmy. I did get it, so I saw it in my DMs. Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. Yes.
Well, guess what? I'd like the entire Coach and Bro universe to hear something positive about my partner. Producer man, if you don't mind, roll tape.
That phone call was life-changing, Terry, and I'll never forget it.
Unbelievable.
all
He's
because
a
of you,
comedian
Jeff
now. They
Jarrett.
kill the audio.
Thank
He's a
you for
comedian. Coach is a
signing my
comedian now.
first ever TNA contract and giving me an opportunity to live out my dream here in TNA. Thank you, Jeff. Vince Russo. What else can I say but a huge thank you? You were the biggest supporter of the beautiful people. You gave Angelina and I the ball, and we ran with it. You believed in us.
Oh, that's pretty nice right there.
Coach, I didn't get the audio. Is that a rib? I didn't hear the audio.
You didn't?
I
think we had
did
another
not.
issue. I heard it, and
Real
she
nice.
said, you gave us the ball. And we ran.
And that is true. And they did run with it. Those ladies did a fantastic job, man. I'm very, very, very proud of them.
I've always been a fan of Velvet Sky. She years and years ago, she dated one of my best friends in the whole world, and so I got to be around her a lot. And she's such a classy. I'm not that familiar with her friend, but her I was around a lot. Can't say enough good things about her.
She is a class act, and I absolutely loved her. Absolutely loved her.
So that was really nice that they did the Hall of Fame. They did it then. They also had they broke their all-time attendance record that night, 7,764 fans at Bound for Glory, which was very, very cool.
That is
very,
great.
very cool. Roland Curtis says, I asked a couple of times if Netflix WWE will do anything to discourage Elon Musk fans from unsubscribing. Has WWE succeeded today in keeping those subs? Here's the deal, Vince, and I don't know if you're familiar with what he's talking about, but Netflix has lost $30 billion in stock because of their children's programming.
Yeah.
And I think what people need to understand is that Netflix has a lot of different programming to bring in all of the hundreds of millions of people that subscribe to them. So it's only going to be a small, I think, chunk of people, Vince, that watch children's programming anyway that will even know this exists, to be honest. I didn't know until I saw it on social media. So I don't think WWE is going to affect it one way or the other. Do you?
I don't think they can. I don't know how they would affect it because – listen, man, the fans that are going to subscribe to the WWE are already subscribing. So a lot of people are asking me because Netflix is taking this loss, do you think they can, make up for it with WWE subscribers? I think if you're going to subscribe to because of the WWE, you already have, Coach.
No doubt. No doubt. I don't think it's kind of like with sports books that I get very frustrated with when you see that those lazy things on TV. You've seen events where they go, all right, DraftKings, if you bet $5, new customers only, you bet $5, we're going to give you 200 free bets.
I hate it.
It's lazy. Yeah. And every time I deal with it, because we're still looking for an official sports book for Coaching Company. And the problem is that is something, it's kind of like wrestling not evolving, Vince. That worked in 2018 when sports books were becoming legal. There were a lot of new customers. Now, just like with Netflix, what you just said, if I'm playing at DraftKings and BetMGM's trying to get me to go over there, what are they going to have to do? They're going to give me far more than $200 to switch.
Right.
And then I'm only a new customer once.
Right. Yep.
So it's lazy marketing when you're stuck in 2018, but you're in 2025. And a lot of places are doing that. You got to evolve. You got to change what you're doing. I've told people this, Vince. You got to have organic partnerships. Like, what if we did a Coach and Bro play of the day? And you had to watch this show, you get a code, and all of a sudden you get an extra $20 if you win.
Yeah.
That, to me, would get somebody to go sign up.
I agree. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They don't want to do that. They want to do the new acquisition thing, as they call it. Uh-oh. Jimmy Fingers. He is trying to beat the system, Vince. He's going to have 4 spots on the Wheel of Doom.
Unbelievable, Jimmy.
Yes. You're about to be our MVP as well. Whoever donates the most in super stickers, they're our daily MVP. Any chance to give AJ Styles a final run or put him in something meaningful, or maybe finally align him with Finn and do a legit Bullet Club deal to help out both guys? They have never aligned. I just had who's part of the other Bullet Club, Vince? Carl Anderson. Anderson.
I'll call, yeah.
I just had him on the radio show. Those guys are killing the indies. They're absolutely killing it. I don't know if AJ, because you'd have to bring the entire Bullet Club back together, not just Finn. But do you think they're going to give him a year run like they did John Cena, or is he not as big of a star?
He definitely should. There's no question about it. But again, Coach, I'm not going to put any heat on them. It's the way the system is set up. If somebody's going to do that, then you've got to have one person writing that for the entire year. One person working with AJ, zeroing in on what that's going to be. Hey, Coach, I gotta ask producer man. Coach, you got to help me with this.
Yes.
Coach, you know how, like you said earlier in the show, like with AI, this is getting troublesome because we don't know what's real and what's not real anymore.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I got this AI photo today. Producer man, are you with me? I hope you're with me.
Oh, my God.
Am
I a part of this?
I can't determine, Coach, if this is real or this is AI. And I says, you know what? There's one guy that knows it all. There's one guy that knows it all, and that's the coach. Producer man, can you pull that picture up, please, so Coach can determine if this is real life or AI? And I hope he can. I'm seeing it there. I queued it up for you there, producer man. Okay, now, Coach, somebody sent me this today, and I'm like, wait a minute. Hold the phone. I know Vince is a lot bigger than Tony. You know, I mean, I've been around Vince. Tony's kind of small. Coach, what's your professional take on this?
My guess is this is not real. This is AI.
Okay. Are you sure, Coach?
I don't think it's real.
Okay, all right. Okay, I just want to know. Thanks for clarifying that, because, Coach, I was very confused with that, Coach.
Losing sleep over that one. Very important, and I don't know what's going on, Vince, but I feel like the tech gods are driving me insane. I'm hearing myself in 8 different ways. Hatesh says boxing, WWE, UFC always draws based on the main guy. Cody is not the draw. Roman is. That is how clear. WWE have to try out Dom and Jacob, Logan, etc. quick. Do you think they're at a point, Vince, where they need to say the 5 or 6 main event guys, they continue to go in a circle? We've got to start going over here with a Dom, a Logan, and guys that never get to be in that main event discussion.
Absolutely, Coach, and that's all making main guys. Absolutely. They are just not very good at that, man.
I feel like they're not very good at telling guys who's been around for a while, like, say, a Seth Rollins. They don't want to piss him off. So they say, well, you're gonna maintain in a main event storyline. But Vince, every few years you've got to inject something fresh, and you're gonna piss off somebody at some point, because there's only really, when you're talking about it, 5 or 6 spots for the men, 2 to 4 spots for the women when we're talking about main event.
Coach,
main event.
Coach, part of the reason things did not work out at WCW and they went completely south is because I did that. But I did that, Coach, knowing full well what was going to happen, but I did it because I knew it was the best thing for the company and business. So that's why I took those guys in the middle, the Eddie Guerreras, the Benoits, the Malenkos, all those guys in the middle, and I started elevating them. And then what happened? The veterans got in the ear of upper management. Vince is trying to get rid of us. Vince is trying to get rid of us. They worked them, and the next thing we know, they're going in a different direction. So that's exactly what would happen, because that's part of protecting the spot. You're not going to let anybody protect your spot. But again, the question is, Coach, you gave us that number before, 1.03 million.
Yes.
Guys, how far do you let this go? I mean, that's what you've got to decide. How far do you let this go before a drastic change is made?
I don't know how many dirt sheets I believe. Well, 0 is the number. But when you see these different ones, and I don't even know what they are. But you see, and we could do this if we chose to. Whereas at SmackDown struggling, they're going to make a change to the writing team to help Road Dogg. Well, we can make that stuff up too. There's no facts there. There's no saying, hey, they've hired person A, B, and C to come in, and they've addressed it with a newsletter or something. They don't do that. So these wrestling dirt sheets, Vince, will throw stuff against the wall, and they'll say, you know what? This sounds pretty good. Low rating, bringing people in. And then if it hits, they can brag that they actually had the story correct. So I don't know if it's correct or not, but it sounds like they need to.
And Coach, here's the interesting thing, and this is why I love so much doing a show with you, because we can talk about these things and you understand exactly what I was talking about because we both worked for the same company. Guys, let's look at this on a business level. That's how we look at everything here. So the ratings are... I'm not talking ticket sales. I'm not talking billions of dollars. By the way, Coach, I do want you to know, as a shoot,
yes,
me and my daughter went to see Sir Paul McCartney at Coors Field on Saturday night. On the field, not upper deck, not the rock pile, on the field, $120.
I have one question about that.
Go ahead, Coach.
Was that your voice in the video?
Yeah.
You were singing away. You were singing away.
Coach, can we look at this from a realistic standpoint? Because,
yes,
guys, this is the problem. So that number comes in for SmackDown. The Netflix numbers have not been great. So now all of a sudden, sooner or later, there's going to be some questions asked to Triple H. There's going to be questions asked. Trips, what's going on here? We love the Saudi deal. We love the ticket prices. We love everything, but this is going in the wrong direction. What does Triple H do? He does what he has to do. Okay, we're going to bring in fresh blood. We are going to hire new people to appease to Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro that, okay, they're doing something about creative. Fine. But here's what happens, Coach. These new people come into that system and they don't stand a chance. And that's the part of it that Ari Emanuel and the higher ups at whatever it's called,
TKO.
That's the part they don't understand. They think the wrestling business is run like their business. So, okay, they're going to hire the best writers and they're going to bring in these writers and develop these writers. That's what they're thinking because that's good business.
Use the word develop. They don't have time to develop because they want the numbers to turn around in a week or two. But in order to turn around, you got to have really good storylines, which takes a while. And that is, I think that's the circle right now that they continue to deal with. I had a great point I was going to make, and I completely lost my train of thought because what you were saying was so good. As they head into I know what I was going to say. So you always like to say the money's already in the bank, right? And yes, it is. But part of the reason they brought WWE to Netflix, Vince, is they want to get into the live event game. They signed a deal with NFL. They're going to have an NFL game again this year on Christmas. They want to get into the NBA, right? What do you have in those sports every 6 minutes or so?
Commercial
time. They now have different levels where if you get for $7.99, you're going to get commercials. So, Vince, for everybody that thinks, the ratings don't matter to Netflix, really? They're brand new into the ad game. They're going out to businesses and saying, we're taking business now in advertising. You don't think Coke, you don't think Slim Jim are going to say, well, how are you doing there on Monday nights? To adjust the price? Of course you are. Mm-hmm. And that's why if I'm Netflix, I'm saying, whoa, hold the phone for a second. Because they also have SmackDown outside of the United States. They have both shows. Mm-hmm. So they can't sit on that $5 billion for the next 9 years because they're trying to sell ads to make for. That's why they invested in the WWE, because they're a live event. Yeah. They're a live event. This matters, man. This matters, everybody. This matters. Traffic Jam says, hello, Coach and Vince. Hello, right back at you. I feel John Cena's farewell tour has been a disaster. Do you see AEW bringing John Cena like Sting? You guys are awesome. Thank you, Traffic. I'm trying to get out of the business of saying what I know because I've had a couple of misses, more hits than misses. But if he wants to stay in wrestling, Vince, and this last year was as big of a disaster as it is, who's the one guy that John Cena has been unbelievably loyal to throughout this whole process?
Throughout this whole process?
Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Is Vince McMahon in the WWE anymore?
He is not.
So would it be safe to assume that John Cena's loyalty could lie elsewhere?
Well, and marry that to this run. Marry that to this run.
Exactly.
He put his trust in the hands of the people in charge, and look what we got.
I still believe, and we may be completely wrong, but me and Vince, we're very, very close, even though we don't always agree, but we agree on this, that at some point, Vince will get back in the game. We believe it's with the Saudis. Vince, if he does that and the Saudis buy this they just paid $55 billion for EA Sports. $55 billion. All they need is 15 to buy everybody out, Vince. Everybody's made whole. Everybody pays off their debt. Everybody's good if they buy the WWE for $15 billion. Who do you think would be sitting right next to Vince helping run the company from time to time? John Cena. Which means he asked the question, could he ever go to AEW? Yes, I believe that he could. Yeah. Because I believe that the WWE he is in right now, he is not happy with. And they should have done better. They should have put Boston as the last night. They went after money instead of loyalty, and that's a fact because we've seen the reporting of it, and he's going to be in D.C. instead of Boston. Everything is lining up, Vince, for John Cena not to be happy with what's going on.
Well, think about this, guys. Think about this, and if you really believe there aren't going to be ramifications to this, think about this, Coach. Coach, we've succeeded in pissing off John Cena and The Rock. Those are two very powerful people. Now, if you're asking me, and I'm Triple H, those are the last two people I would want to piss off. Those are the last two people I would be going out of my way to make those people happy because, Coach, let's face it, those are the two most powerful people besides him, right?
Did you say The Rock, the same guy they paid $40 million to last January? That guy?
Yes.
The same guy who helped start the heel turn that was a disaster. That guy?
Yes.
The same guy that went on Pat McAfee and said, "Oh, I was just there to help sell tickets." That guy?
Yes.
The same guy who didn't show up to promote his movie, hence the smallest opening he's ever had, and instead of using the huge audience, he decided to do it on his own. That guy?
Yes.
And would it be the same guy that went on the Kelsey's podcast and gave us this quote, double quote, "I have a tiny bit of influence in the booking of it," meaning John Cena's last match. But it really is whoever John wants. Really, what it comes down to. It's not me. It's not Nick Khan or even Triple H. He said that guy's earned it. And you know what? The best part about John is he comes as advertised. Who you think he is, that's who he is. And he's a good dude. And I love that guy. That was a Rock on the New Hots podcast with Travis Kelce and his brother Jason Kelce. Vince, the one thing I got out of there was the first line. How, if The Rock hasn't been around the entire season, does he have any say in this booking whatsoever?
Yeah. Yeah, God, these things are just so loaded. Because, listen, Coach, I told you many, many months ago, I heard from somebody, I'm going to say so you guys know it's not a gaffer or a best boy or one of these guys. I heard from somebody on the active roster, okay? That's all I'm going to say. That knows. That's all I'm going to say. Cena, 1,000% was calling his own shots. Okay, 1,000%. That's why that tells me if that's true, this thing has to come back around to Brock Lesnar. Because why on earth would Cena have booked that way if that wasn't going to be the final match and the period at the end of the sentence?
I've heard 1,000 different reasons. None of them make any sense. And Cena's not doing any interviews. I think it's part of the reason they've canceled all the post-event press conferences because they don't want to have to put anything out there and answer any questions. And right now, they control the narrative that's going out.
Yes.
So if it's a press release or whatever it is, you get no more. And Triple H is going on the post show. He's not going in front of. I'll use media in quotes. I've seen some of them in there. Media, don't insult me, who's been at ESPN calling them media. Michael Orr says the timing of the Q on Raw. Why not when Seth had the injury or save for a match with Punk? Thoughts? Love the show, guys. Russo is my hero. Michael, at least me, and Vince, you can speak for yourself. I just think that they knew they were going to do it, and they decided to pull the trigger a little bit early. For whatever reason, I still don't know. But this is what they do when it's 52 weeks, Vince. Patience is not a word that they have. They didn't have it when we were there.
Well, Coach, I don't want to say this. I really don't, because I don't want to think that. I don't want to think this because it's bad. It's bad if it's true. But again, we just talked about a 1.03 million rating. Okay? They have to answer to somebody for that. I promise you, when they were at the bargaining table with Netflix, and Netflix said, what can we expect? I promise you nobody said 1.03 million people. I promise you that. So when you look at these numbers and you look at that, was that clearly desperation, Coach? Was that clearly, holy crap, we need to do something and mix it up now?
Wow. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. I really, really didn't think about that. But this is going to be an active thing, guys. This is going to be an active thing because we're talking about billions over the course of years. So it's not like this is one-off. It's not like this is a year trial. This is multi-years. So, Vince, there's going to be this push and pull all the way along to keep everybody happy. And also, to your point, to keep ESPN happy and Netflix, you got to have your top 20 stars. And to me, that's it. That's it. Yes,
that's it. And, Coach, here's the problem that they always suffer. Just say I'm right, for argument's sake, and I'm not saying I am. I don't know. But say Netflix is, okay, what's going on, putting a little bit of pressure. They have their creative meeting. Triple H is sitting at the head of the table scratching his beard like on Unreal like this, and they come up with this idea. Okay, well and dandy. Here's the problem, Coach. They never know how to follow up with this stuff. That's the problem. You can pull all the rabbits out of your hat you want. You could do all the shocks and all the swerves. And then, Coach, there's next week. And if you don't know what you're doing next week, we're right back where we began.
You know what, Vince? Sometimes you just really irritate me.
No.
I mean, what...
No, yeet.
Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry. I got a little finger happy there, Coach.
I can throw out a bunch of names where they followed up.
Go ahead, Coach.
Wait, sorry. Let me start again. Bianca. let me start again. Jay. I swear I'm going to get one, Vince. Nail. No. Judgment Day tag team titles that haven't been defended since July.
You're forgetting the biggest name of all.
Who's that?
Freaking Brock. Brock's never said a word. We've not seen him. Nothing. You're going to sit there and tell me that wasn't, it's time to play the Brock card. Come on, man.
See, Vince, he did come out and beat up Sami Zayn.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's not forget that.
And Sami Zayn. And speaking of follow-up, Sami Zayn forgot about it by the next week. Speaking of follow-up, yes.
You mean those ribs that you're supposed to be holding when you're walking out to have another match after he just killed you? Jimmy Fingers, you're our MVP, big dog. You're our MVP. Vince, when you saw McCartney, did he do the split screen with Lennon again on I Got?
Oh, yeah, bro. Jimmy, Jimmy, I'll be honest with you. I am a mamby-pamby. That made me cry. I literally teared up and cried. That, yes, very powerful, very emotional, yes.
Isn't it amazing when they can do that, when somebody's passed and then they do like the duet? incredible.
Hey, Coach, Coach, you see, you're going to get pissed off at me because I'm kind of producing the show behind Coach's back, ladies and gentlemen. Coach doesn't know. Can producer man bring up something that when I read this, I'm like, bro, this is the WWE. I don't know what to say. Producer man, can you bring that thing up? I got it down there. I want to read this to Coach because I read this and I'm like, brother, like, okay, I got to hit. Share screen is requested. I hit share screen. Go ahead, producer man. No, not that producer man. What are we doing? Producer man. Is he new? Coach, I'll read it to you. Coach.
Okay.
Coach.
Yes.
This is Joe Torre.
Okay.
Listen to what he said, because I want you guys to know, like, when I think of the WWE, think of Vince McMahon saying this. Think of Vince McMahon saying this. Here's what Joe Torre said when the Yankees got eliminated, Coach. I'll be blunt. The Yankees have forgotten what it means to earn greatness. Wearing the pinstripes doesn't guarantee a World Series anymore. Until they play with hunger, not entitlement, they'll keep falling short. What does that sound like? That sounds like what you and I sit here saying every single week. Does it not?
It does. And part of the problem is something that is not going to change, and that is there's a show every week. For the Yankees, at least they have 5 months off to kind of recalibrate and address the issues. Wrestling never has done that. So when you get into a rut, usually the rut lasts for a very, very long time.
Absolutely.
And right now they're in a very high level financial rut. They've never had this before where you've got to raise the level of storylines to match the financials. And that's what they're running into right now. I love Joe Torre, one of the great managers of all time.
Yep.
And if the Yankees are looking at that, I hope they don't say, well, what does Joe Torre know?
Yeah, exactly. Can you who'd Joe Torre ever be, Coach?
Yeah, a lot of people for a lot of rings. Oh my gosh. Jimmy Fingers, right back.
Wow. Did Jimmy win the lottery, Coach?
Apparently, he must have had a good week with our picks over on Coach's Company, is all I know. By the way, if you guys want to watch the Monday Night Grind, 45 minutes, 7 p.m. Eastern, a lot of live bets, or 2 games tonight, live betting during the show. Coach, have you seen these MLK wrestling AIs going around? They got Malcolm X, Mr. Rogers, and Bob Ross feuding with him. I am enjoying them. They're actually incredibly real with Martin Luther King with a microphone talking. I don't mind them as long as they're not offensive.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. As long as they're
fun. If they're fun, yeah. By the way, so we have a picture. I say all the time, whoever wins or buys a Bambi t-shirt, we want to throw you right up on the screen. Producer man, can we see the chat queen? Apparently, she has gotten a Bambi.
Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about. Wearing that. Look at that look on her face, wearing that proudly. Yes.
Well, I know that she bought that because that's a sweatshirt. We give out t-shirts.
Yes.
So that's actually one that she bought. That's amazing.
Love it.
I give her flowers a lot of the time, but I got to tell you, Vince, nobody say brands like Kimberly does. Every show we do, every brand we do, can't do without people like
I try, Coach, I'll be honest, I try to keep up with Kimberly promoting everything you do. I can't even keep up with Kimberly. She's always 3 tweets ahead of me.
Trust and believe. I feel sometimes I just go, you know what? Let me just retweet. I don't even do my own. I just retweet her. That's what I do. All right. Daniel says both are entertaining, but please no more wrestling talk. Enough already, as all this talk about nothingness is pointless. How about real world topic? Daniel, this is a wrestling show. We get into other things, but this is a wrestling show. We'll talk about music from time to time. We'll talk about but we are not CNBC. I mean, we can talk about Mark Shapiro, who continues to sit in it. But this is a wrestling show. That's what we do. All right, I think we've caught up on all of these super stickers.
I actually, though, Coach, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I swear, I actually think this is more of a business show than a wrestling show, honestly. I mean, we agree with that. Yeah, we talk more about the business of what wrestling is, I think, than anything else.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it. Real world stuff, we like to stay in our lane because me and Vince are not. And right when I say we're done, oh, they keep coming in, Vince. All right, so I believe we're getting ready to approach history being made, Vince, on this show. I don't know what the exact number is, but Jimmy Fingers is approaching it.
Yeet.
Yeet is right. So another spot on the Wheel of Doom. He's going to have like 7 spots.
Unbelievable.
Is Adam Edge Copeland going to be Cena's last match? He kind of stiffed Christian on that deal after finally reuniting with him in AEW, or is Tony Khan giving him permission for the one-off in good faith? I would say this, Vince, that if there's one person that Tony Khan would let do it, it would be Edge or Adam Copeland. If Cena wanted that, because Tony Khan at his core is a wrestling fan, and it would do a lot for his company if he allowed Edge to go do that. I don't know if WWE would do it.
Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Give it to me.
What if the trade-off is for Tony Khan, Mr. Cena, I will give Mr. Copeland that one-off, and when your contract is officially ended with WWE, you and I are going to have a talk. How about that? Where's my yeet button? Hold on.
Yeet.
Yeet, baby!
Yeet.
How about that, Coach?
Well, I mean, I know Cena doesn't want to wrestle anymore, but I could honestly say that he would be a tremendous mentor, a manager type. I feel like they need an on-air, a character that is an authoritative figure. I've always volunteered myself, but if Cena wanted to stay in wrestling, don't you think he'd be great at that?
Absolutely.
1 day a week is all it'd be.
Yeah, and he could help that company. If Tony listened, he could help that company tremendously.
Tremendously. And you wouldn't have to have him all year round. He's busy with Honda and his TV series and movies, but he also could, what do we always say here? You can cut a video and put it up on the screen.
Yep.
And say, hey, boys, you want to fight? Fight next week, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a shot across the bow if they did that. That would be the one guy, Vince, that if Tony Khan could get over to AEW, regardless of whether or not he's wrestling, huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Think about, Coach, if they did that opposite the big WrestleMania event in Saudi Arabia. Think about that.
Oh, spring of 27 is going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
Be here before we know it. All right, they want you to sing. Sammy wants you to sing. Give me a little coaching, bro, for the Mariners to win the World Series, Vince.
Coaching, bro. Coaching, bro. Coaching, bro. Coaching, bro. Hey, Coach, let me ask you this from a betting perspective real quick, because this is your expertise, and I'm asking you to give me free advice.
Yes.
Bro, I did not believe, I could not believe this statistic today, and I heard it today for the first time. Bro, you know the Milwaukee Brewers went 6-0 against the Dodgers this year?
Yes.
Does that need to even out in the playoffs, or does that domination continue?
Well, all the other numbers are every number is on the Brewers to beat the Dodgers. Every single number is on the Brewers to beat. They also have home field advantage.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize that.
Yeah.
So I really think that this could be their year. But Vince, think about this. We just had Chris McCumber on. What do you think? And I think it's Fox that has the World Series. If you walked into a room today and you're sitting around there planning the World Series, you say, all right, guys, all right.
No yeet.
We got
No yeet.
you already know what I'm going to say. Let's go Mariners and the Brewers for all the marbles.
Well, we can say this, Coach. We can say this. If it's Mariners and Brewers, we know baseball is not a work. Okay? Because that's not what they're working towards, Coach.
I got a better one for you. Blue Jays, Brewers. Let's rack it up. Let's go. That's better.
Yeet.
Well, that's a yeet.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Oh, my God. Coming off of the Yankees and Dodgers, can you imagine?
Oh my God! It's got to be the Dodgers. They have to win, the defending champions, and they're the number 2 TV market in the country.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Dodgers. Got to be the Dodgers. Hannibal says, notice how they also canceled the post conferences after the ESPN deal. They know ESPN will ask the tough questions. Not exactly true, Hannibal. They canceled them back before SummerSlam. They got tired of, and it was their own fault, Vince. They were giving. What do you call it? The media credentials to influencers. They were giving them to people that have a podcast in their basement, not people that earn a living doing it.
Right.
It's their own fault for getting those questions.
Yep.
And then, the standard answer. Did you enjoy the show? Bill Badass said, Coach, Cena's an actor now and has zero reason to sign with AEW. Televised Indies Wrestling? What's the matter with you? Billy. It's my great Billy Madison impersonation. Vince, is Tony Khan's dad worth $13 billion?
Yeah, but Coach, I'll tell you what I think is more important than that, honestly, because you and I know the business and we know the egos in the business. Guys, trust me, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't say, oh, a source said this or a source said that. Coach and I, we can guess, we can speculate. We don't know, but Coach, I'm telling you, if Triple H pissed off John Cena enough, that is a reality. We know the egos in the business, Coach.
1,000%. Cena's not going to care that it's an indie smaller company.
No.
He has a lifestyle that he has gotten used to. We've seen it in all the reality shows. He, like everybody else, likes to make money. And if he can make really easy, big money, Edge got paid $5 million a year to go there. $5 million. When he had been hurt out of the business for 10 years. What do you think John Cena could get? Come on. Don't say there's no reason. There's always a reason.
Yep.
And if he's pissed off enough, John Cena reveres this business. And he wanted this last year to be great. It hasn't been great. He's not happy about it. But thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Hitesh, Coach, one of my favorite runs is Hollywood Rock 2003. What are your memories of that run? Are you familiar with Vince? Also loved Coach and Rock, Rock versus Goldberg. Oh, so you're the one.
Very nice.
I will say this. I have a hard time taking my feelings out of it when it comes to The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what I do, a lot of my style, a lot of it came from learning from him, talking to him. I love him dearly as a friend, and I just like everything that he does. I really, really do. And I wish part of my criticism comes from wishing he would have been a part of this year, because I like when he's on the show.
Yeah.
And he's one of the biggest stars of all time, if not the biggest star. And I get hurt when I go, man, it would have been great with him inserted here.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that.
Yep.
So that's where my stuff comes from. All right, we got another name on the Wheel of Doom, Vince. You guys are going to kill me because I've got a football show starting in 34 minutes. You're making it difficult to end this show. And I know we started a little bit late. That's on me. Damien says, love the show. The King of Pop struck again at Raw with the burial of Seth. The Pavlovian dogs in the Australian crowd are that crap up like it wasn't coming. Give me a break. Do you think they intentionally did it in Australia, Vince?
No, I don't think so. I would think there's more weight to, again, some pressure from Netflix, like, we need to do something with that number. I would think that it would be more of that.
And they decided to do it on a day where people are watching it on tape delay, essentially.
Yeah.
It was a 5 a.m. start where I'm sitting, Vince.
Yeah, yes.
I get up at 5 a.m. every single day. I'm like, and I'm turning on Raw live?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, and you can't run it tape delay anymore. Not with streaming, you can't.
Coach, what about this? I'd love to hear your view on this. What about them booing the United States national anthem at Crown Jewel? What about that?
Apparently, not everybody loves the United States as much as we do.
Yeah, but we don't need to hear it. Like we could like to think everybody loves the United States.
I'll be honest with you. For a long time, we had, Lillian Garcia. She sang the national anthem every night. Vince, I got to tell you, I've never despised the national anthem more than when you hear it every week for 10 years. But we never showed it on TV.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would show it as part of the show down there.
That is a great point. Did they think they were not going to boo? That's another great point, Coach. I didn't even think of that. Why would you show that?
I don't know. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Jimmy Fingers, bro. We may have to pay you back. The only way the Brewers are going to get by LA is if they dust off Gorman Thomas, Paul Molitor, Yount, Cecil Cooper, and Pete Molkovich. Wow, that was a hell of a roster.
Yes, and Bob Uecker comes back to call the game. Jimmy, how about that?
He's either real sick or he hasn't passed yet.
He passed this season.
Okay, yeah. I knew he was really sick.
They're playing with the spirit of Uecker. That's the whole thing.
That would be one of the greatest gigs ever, because I think he called games till right when he was sick.
Oh, yeah.
In his 80s. I would love to call it. One of my best buddies is the Angels, Roger Lodge. Mm-hmm. He was a host of Blind Date. Yeah,
Roger Lodge. He used to date Pamela Paulshock, who was an announcer at WCW.
Yeah, they're married now. They've been married for years. Yeah, they're married now.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends. So he has Drive Time Radio out here on ESPN Radio. So I have I do a segment once a month, once every 2 weeks, whatever. His son is on our coaching company show. 21 years old. He goes to TCU. He's incredible. And he's so good. We call him Young Peyton because he's barely old enough to be on a betting show, but he is. And Roger started doing games this year because their announcer is getting older. So he got to do maybe 15 games. Said he had the time of his life. So he does a pregame show every day. Yeah. And, man, wouldn't it be fun to call baseball? What if you and I called baseball?
Bro, I'm surprised you never got a gig like that, Coach. Was a gig like that in sports offered? Like, whatever?
It's really hard. It's really hard. And you got to start like in minor leagues, and there's not a lot of money in it. And there's only 32 jobs. There's only 30 or 32 jobs. Yeah. It's just like in the NFL. It's really hard to get. And then when you get them, you don't give them up.
Yeah.
You don't give them up. They're just they're great. You get to work 6 months a year, make a full year's salary, and then call basketball or whatever. That's what a lot of my buddies do that call baseball. Yeah. A few more, then I gotta get out of here. You guys are amazing. Smartest Mark alive. You're on the Wheel of Doom. He goes, I went to Perth weekend and stayed at the same hotel as all the wrestlers. Okay. Most of them were nice as hell, but Punk, Usos, and Solo were rude as shit. And that's why you're nice to everybody. You never know when they're going to show up.
Yeah, but hold on for a second. I'm not going to sit here and let this guy insult Solo because, Coach, I know you watch SmackDown. And listen, they all came back as clowns. The Samoans are happy clowns now, everybody. So the next time you run into Solo Sikoa, I'm sure he'll squirt you with his little flower lapel, Coach, maybe squeeze his nose and it'll beep a little bit. That was the old Solo, Coach. Come on now.
A new lighter Solo is what we're dealing with. My goodness. He also says nobody hounded them at all in the hotel, but they completely ignored everyone, not even hello. I will tell you guys this, that back when we became really popular, the early 2000s, if Vince saw you ignore a fan, rude to a fan, not take a picture, not sign an autograph, you were fined. Vince hated it. Now, he didn't want to give away the business, but he wanted you to be nice to the fans at the hotel or whatever. I mean, Vince was always about that.
Coach, when I was around, and again with you, with the biggest stars with the business, the only thing that was, just so you guys know, with old timers, the only thing that was kind of off limits and would bother them is if you interrupted them when they were eating.
That's it.
That's it. You guys know that if you ever come across somebody like that. But at walking through an airport or buying a cup of coffee, the only thing that bothered them is when they were eating and you would walk up. I mean, am I right, Coach?
No, you are. I'm probably known as the nicest of the WWE ever. I mean, you won't meet somebody that didn't love me because it's a lot. It takes a lot longer to be an asshole than it does just to take the picture, say hello, thank you very much, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But if you're in the middle of a bite like that, all bets are off. You're taking your life into your own hands. But
That's it.
Now they get inside security at the airports now. I don't know how they do that, but they're inside security. It's crazy. All right, last one. Matt Heaton, you're on the Wheel of Doom. Bro, please cue up the conspiracy sound effect. Ready, Vince?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the same creative team from hottest period since Attitude Era, just 3 years ago. Is this an intentional tank by McMahon loyalists to devalue the product? It's a very interesting question. But when I think about everything they've done the last 3 years, the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs, and I think, who would be on the side of Vincent Kennedy McMahon? I see no one, Vince Russo. So I say no to this question. But when you're talking about a conspiracy theory, I guess anything is possible.
Matt, I would tell you this. I believe that they think the show is good. I really do. I think from their standards, they think they are producing good shows. I really believe that, Coach. I honestly believe that.
I'll tell you what I believe in. Joe Henry. No, I'm kidding.
Hold on. Hold on, Coach. I'm booing you out of the building for that. The low-hanging fruit, Coach.
Oh, it was so low. I had to just grab it. All right. Thank you to everybody for the amazing super stickers. We had 3 more topics we didn't even have time to get to because this show is about all of you. We're going to have the biggest Wheel of Doom we've ever had so far on Thursday, so you got to tune in for that. Remember, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Stadium, Bally Sports Live, a full hour. So it's a different time on Mondays and Thursdays, but you guys always find us. Easiest thing to do, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You guys get into the chat, talk away. We have 2 different ones. That's the easiest way. And, of course, as soon as we get ready to go off the air, my microphone goes nuts. It's the way it works. We're going to see you in 25 minutes on our Coaching Company YouTube page as we count down to not 1, but 2 Monday Night Football games, the Bills and the Falcons, and the Bears and the Commanders. For now, though, for Vince Russo, for Producer Man, for Mikey P, and for Double D, our intern, Dirt Sheet Dan, I am the coach. We'll see you Thursday right here on the Coach and Bro Show.